Some stories are just so wild, they feel more like modern myths than actual history. Well, this is one of them. We're diving into one of the most baffling disappearances of the 20th century, a tale that starts with a pretty desperate plan and ends with a totally impossible mystery. This is the story of the man who literally mailed himself and then simply vanished.
Okay, so picture this. It's October 3rd, 1964. We're at the LAX cargo terminal. Seems like just another day, right? A flight has just landed from Sydney, Australia. It's got the usual stuff: passengers, their bags, commercial freight. But hidden among all that ordinary cargo is one item that's about to kick off an international puzzle. So just imagine you're a cargo handler on the tarmac that day, and you see this stenciled on the side of a wooden crate. Human cargo, extremely fragile, open immediately. I mean, you probably see some weird stuff in your line of work, but a label like that's gonna get your attention. Fast. It screams that something grim, something urgent is waiting inside.
And this is where the story just completely goes off the rails, into the impossible. According to the flight manifest, the official paperwork, this crate is supposed to weigh 185 pounds, about the weight of an average guy. But when they put it on the scales in Los Angeles, it's only 47 pounds. A full 138 pounds, the entire weight of a person, has just gone. Okay, so obviously they're fearing the worst. Authorities rush to pry open the lid, but probably expecting to find a body, right? But instead, they find, well, nothing. The crate is totally empty. No signs of a struggle, not one drop of blood, not a single clear fingerprint. It's almost like the person inside just evaporated. Which leads to this just impossible question. How does a person vanish from inside a sealed wooden crate mid-flight, tens of thousands of feet up in the air, without leaving a single trace? I mean, this is the puzzle that had absolutely everyone stumped, and it's what kicks off this incredible legend. All right, to even begin to understand how someone could disappear like that, we have to rewind. We have to go back to the beginning. Because this wasn't some random accident. Oh no. This was a carefully planned, super high-stakes gamble by a guy who was in a really desperate spot. So, let me introduce you to the man at the center of all this, Reginald Spires. He was a seriously talented athlete, an Australian javelin champion. But by 1964, his luck had run out. He was completely broke, stranded in London, and had no way to pay for a plane ticket back home to Perth. He needed a way out, and let's just say he was willing to think outside the box. Or in this case, literally, inside one. And his plan? It was so bold, yet so simple. Step 1, build a crate just big enough to squeeze into. Step 2, pack a few essentials for the, 72-hour trip, some biscuits, a bottle of water, a flashlight. Step 3, get a buddy to ship him as regular old freight cargo. And step 4, just arrive in Perth, a free man. I mean, what could possibly go wrong, right? But here's where it gets really weird. Spires added one more very curious step to his plan. Right before he was sealed inside that crate, he took out a life insurance policy with the famous Lloyds of London for £10,000. Now that was a huge amount of money back then. He was insuring his own life on a trip he fully intended to survive. And you gotta love this detail. It shows you his dark sense of humor and just how clever he was. The policy wasn't even in his own name. It was for a Mr. John Doe, and the contents being insured were listed simply as human remains. He was literally betting on himself disappearing. Okay, so the plan is in motion. The crate is loaded onto the plane. But this is the exact moment the story veers from a desperate stunt into something else. Something truly impossible. Let's talk about what happened high above the Pacific Ocean. Get this, just 20 minutes before the plane is scheduled to land in Los Angeles, the pilot gets on the radio and makes a really chilling call to the control tower. He reports two bizarre things happening at once: a sudden, totally unexplainable 40-degree temperature drop in the cargo hold, and faint but clear knocking sounds coming from down there. So when the ground crew finally gets that crate open, and by now, it's ice cold to the touch, they find only 3 things inside. That's it: an empty water bottle, a single half-eaten biscuit, and a Polaroid photo taped to the inside of the lid. The man is gone, but he's left behind these weird, sparse little clues. But of all the clues, this is the one that just blows the whole case wide open. The Polaroid.
It shows Spears inside the crate giving a thumbs up to the camera. But you can also see another person's hand in the picture holding the camera that took the shot. Now, wait a minute. How could there possibly be a second person inside a sealed crate that was custom built for one?
The disappearance itself is a complete head-scratcher. But the final piece of evidence? Oh, this is what turns this whole thing from a simple vanishing act into a legendary masterclass heist. And it all circles back to that insurance policy he took out.
Okay, look at this timeline, because this is where your brain is going to start to hurt. On day 0, Spears is sealed up in his crate in London. On day 3, that now empty crate lands in LA. But check out what happened on day 1, a full 2 days before anyone even knew he was missing. That £10,000 insurance check was cashed at a bank back in Perth, Australia. How is that possible?
So the big question is, who cashed it? Well, the authorities got their hands on the withdrawal slip and compared the signature to known samples of Spears' handwriting. And it was a perfect match, no question about it. Somehow, Reginald Spears was physically in Perth collecting his own death benefit at the same time he was supposedly sealed in a wooden box flying over the ocean.
And after that, Reginald Spears was never officially seen again. His impossible escape, combined with that perfectly timed insurance payout, turned him from just some guy into a modern myth. The facts of the case just stopped. But the story was just getting started. And this is the legend that really grew around him, the one people started telling in pubs and around campfires. Did Spears figure out the perfect crime? Is it possible he spent the rest of his life as this ghost traveler, just shipping himself around the world, pulling off the same brilliant heist over and over again, and collecting a fat insurance check every time he disappeared? And you want to hear maybe the most chilling detail of this whole thing? It comes from a persistent rumor that still floats around in the Qantas internal records. They say there's still one unclaimed crate from 1964 sitting in their system. Its status is permanently marked in transit. And its locked weight, 0 pounds. So it just leaves you wondering, right? Was this a supernatural event? A brilliant, once-in-a-lifetime illusion? Or was it just the perfect crime? And is it possible that somewhere out there, the world's greatest escape artist is still on the move, always one step ahead of everyone?